Good morning, everyone. Say good morning and then we will start. Good morning. Yes, Yashaswini, good morning. Happiest morning, Yashaswini. Anjali, Nagma, good morning. Rupa, good morning. Do I wait or should I start? Okay, I will start. Good morning, everybody. Today I'm continuing my class on project management. Okay. Now, we all, so far, not yesterday, the day before, in my class number 3, today is class number 4, by the way. So, in my class number 3, I taught you what is the meaning of project management. I told you some important features of project management, like it's a one time activity, it is a temporary thing, there's a beginning and a closure for project. A project has a name. Sorry, what is a project I taught you? A project has a name, it is a unique activity, it is not part of daily operations, and there's a project team leader, there's a project group of interdisciplinary people, and such things. Then I taught you about the 5 phases of project management, whereby I told you that it begins with initiation and there's a closure. There's a fourth one is the review, implementation, and the third one, something like this. It goes on stage by stage, and then second one was the planning, initiating, planning, yeah, implementation, then review, and then last is closure. So 5 stages were there. Then I talked to you about the 10 subsystems or the 10 knowledge areas of project management. That was an introduction. Today, I'm going to talk to you about why projects are important. Projects today are very important. If you don't consider a job that is a project as not a project, then you lose out greatly. Sufficient importance, sufficient priorities have to be given to a project. It is very important to give sufficient importance and sufficient priorities to a project and treat it as such. All right. See, in a modern day business, you know that businesses face tremendous amount of threats and as well as opportunities. Okay. Now today companies must face international competition, and the time to market of the product it has to be very less. See, when we taught you marketing, we taught you about commercialization. Before commercialization, introduction of I'm talking about the introduction of a new product into market. As per Kotler, when we taught you, we said there is test marketing and then commercialization. Do you know that test marketing is not done by many companies? Why? Because there are people who copy the product, very fast. When you do a test market, the product is in the market and the product is taken, reverse engineering is done. They open out the product, see what is there, and they figure out even better ways to offer the product. So before you know it, your product is copied in the market in a different way. Of course, there are patents and all that, but people always find a loophole. So there are, for example, if you see, as far as my knowledge goes, this Britannia, when it brought the cheese singles, it did not go into test marketing. Even this starch, this I forget the name. The starch that you use for clothes that was introduced into the market did not go into test marketing. It straight away was had they had done the see what happens is one company does all the research and development, and they introduce the product into the market. Some other company takes the product and does reverse engineering and introduces the same product in a much better way, with a different name, with a different purpose, etc., etc. They even find different multiple uses for the product. So in these cases, all the stages of new product development doesn't really work. So you have to the rapid time to market is what is necessary, and we companies need to constantly modify and introduce the products. You need to introduce new products, and you need to modify them. You need to modify the product content, the packaging, the packing, everything you need to modify as per how situation develops. And also response to customers is should be as quick as possible. If you have to respond to customers quickly, it also means that you have to understand what the customers want, and there also you have to have consumer behavior and how proactive consumer behavior and all this. See, when you talk about a company competing in the market, you could talk about low cost strategy. Suppose you give a product at a pretty low cost, then you can skim the market. We say we do penetration marketing. Sorry, skimming the marketing is with high price. We can penetrate the market with a low cost product and low cost strategy, etc. See, when they introduced Air Deccan introduced the 20-seater planes to Delhi and from back forth Bangalore to Delhi, for example, they did not give them the food. So when you minus the cost of the food, etc., etc., it came at a very reasonable rate. The ticket to flight fare to to and flight fare itself became cheap. So low cost strategy worked very much for a time. There were other reasons why the company is not there now, but I mean, in the same business, but that's a different story. Then a second one, as a product innovator. When you are an innovator of a product and you have patent over it, then you can become a core competitor. You have a core competitive advantage, a competitive edge over the others. So the next one is focus on customer service. Now, if you see, some companies are so focused on customer service that people get addicted to the company. See, I'll give you a simple example of customer addiction to service. You may be going to refuel your car or your bike to a particular petrol bunk near your house, and you know that, say, there are four outlets in that particular petrol bunk, and in one particular outlet you have a very kind fellow who says, hi, how are you, good morning, how was you, hope you have a good day, and he will say, he will open the cap himself and check the zero. Okay, bye, thank you, have a good day, sir, something like this, a good day, ma'am, something like this. You like the little niceties, you get you feel nice. Automatically the next time you will go searching for that guy in the outlet, and that guy and that outlet where he dispenses the gas, petrol, or diesel, whatever. So customers become addicted to customer service when you focus on it. So the best way to compete these days would be a low cost strategy, innovation, focus on customer service, etc. So we companies have to pick their niche, what is my competitive niche, and accordingly. So for all this, project management is important. I'll tell you, in the 1990s it is said, see, for example, you have, one second before that, examples of projects are, see, I told you what are projects. Examples of projects, for example, I told you building the auditorium next to our department would be a project. All right. Or the operation to Venus or Mars, sorry, Mars, a flight to moon, the particular flight into space could be a project. Now, in the 1990s, it is said that companies became very adept in competitive advantage. For example, the examples I read somewhere are General Electric, Nokia, Ericsson, Boeing, Oracle, like this. Now, why were they successful? Why were they fast to market and efficient, etc., etc.? Is something. Also, they were cost conscious and customer focused. As I said, innovation, cost consciousness, customer focus is what makes companies competitively rich. So, how was this happening? Is one analysis one author has made, and the author says these companies became so powerful and had a competitive niche because they gave sufficient importance to project management. Now, what is project management? I told you what are projects. The management of projects. See, there's always a what is management? When there is a risk, you try to mitigate it. You try to manage it. So I'm talking about project management is management of projects simply. So here, I believe in the 1995 article I'm reading, Fortune magazine labeled project management the number one career choice for the coming decade. Which means these companies had succeeded because of projects. Now, a noted management consultant called Tom Peters has identified project managers as an indispensable commodity for successful organizations. Project management, project management, and thereby managers or project leaders are supposed to be indispensable commodities. So, if you have companies as diverse as construction, financial institutions, healthcare, insurance, manufacturing, software, public utilities, all these companies are becoming savvy with their projects, and they expect that employees also should be the same. That is why for MBAs we teach you, we have given you in product, and usually it used to be production and operations management. We wanted to introduce project management, so two modules have been duly allotted to project management in your current paper. You can understand why project management is so important. Now I will go into projects as such. Projects are organizational activities that are complex, one-time processes. They are complex. They are not ordinary, everyday, daily operations. They are one-time processes. I told you projects are unique. There is a limited budget. They are limited by a budget. I told you that we have a tripod of time, cost, and quality. All right. So we are talking about cost. Cost here is, let us say, time, cost, and quality. So here, cost, limited budget. All right. Then I told you time. Schedule is there, and completion, and then quality. For quality, you have a particular set of resources and a particular achievement of a set of technical of or operating specifications, etc. Now let us talk about unique characteristics of project management. Projects are first of all complex and they are one-time processes. You can make a note down. The characteristics of projects are, first of all, they are complex and they are unique. All right, complex and are unique. See, because you have a stated goal, and once you finish the goal, the project is over. All right, so they are a one-time process. Next, a time, cost, quality. So the second point, second characteristics of projects are they're limited by budget, schedule, and resources. Budget, you don't have unlimited resources. All right. The third characteristics is projects are developed for achieving a clear goal or a set of goals. There's a particular objective why a project is set up. So that is why you can say one of the third characteristic of a project is it is set up for the achievement or for clear set of goals. Then the fourth characteristic is projects are customer focused. What do the customers want? They fulfill. All right. Now I'm reading from a particular article here. Boeing's 707, which made air travel a revolution was a project. Boeing Company 707, which made air travel a revolution, was a project. Sydney's Opera House was a project. Pyramids of Gaza in Egypt was a project. The London Bridge was a project. Microsoft Windows 95 was a project. IBM's System 360 computers. So, something like this. You can understand why projects were given so much importance. Now, the question about is are projects in sync with corporate strategy? Of course, corporate strategy is achieved by means of projects. Every corporate strategy has projects assigned to it. How about time and cost constraint in the projects? For example, 1 minute. When you have increasingly complex and technical products, then this launching of the product, a new product development, all these become projects. All right. Now, next we talk about project. See, I have talked to you about 5 phases of the project. We can also call it as project life cycle. All right, project life cycle. Okay. Any questions, class? Once again, I'll see who is there. Oh. Bharti, good morning. Stella, good morning. Yashaswini, Kishan, Shilpi. Wait for 5 minutes, ma'am. Ahmad, Fahim, Bharat, Lily, Janin sir, good morning. Roshan, good morning. Sabin, Tejas, Devchandra, good morning. Sujan, Teja, Nina, Shruti, Maivan, good morning. Spandana, good morning. Chandu, Prashant, Hassan Hamta, Sunil Reddy, Chaitra, Anitha Raj, Hemant, good morning. Mohan Kumar, Amrin, Muni Reddy, Devika, good morning. Devika, Abash, Radhika, Biki, Bhavna, Sachin, Ravi, good morning. Lavanya, good morning. Okay, now, see, I'm just wondering how to, one of you should give me, or two of you should give me your email ID so that I will send forth the, whatever material I need to do. Now, please remember, 5 components of a project may change the course of a life cycle. First of all, client interest. See, who is the client? Or we can talk about it as you know who is the intended customer. Okay, these clients or intended customer may be internal or external. Can you keep the interest of the client? Can you keep the commitment of the client to the project is very important. Next, you have stakeholders of the project. They also are like client interest. Then the longer the life of the project, the second point is greater the investment. So you have to try and make the project as short as possible, because with every time spent, you have resources rotting there, money being wasted, labor being used, etc., rent, etc. Then next is the creativity or innovation required in the project is very important. You have to maintain it. Then uncertainty. See, risk and uncertainty are two different things. Uncertainty cannot be measured. Risk can be measured by probability. All right. So these are the some things I will. It's difficult for me to explain these things without presentation. I will try and give you the presentation before my next class, so that you can see the presentation and you can follow what I'm talking this thing. See, next point I want to talk about in a project is feasibility, economic feasibility, technical feasibility, etc. Can we really do the project? It's very nice to say this should be done, but can we really do the project? Is technically is it feasible? Economically, is it feasible? All right. Why do so few people? There are so many people in the world, but still you have only a handful of people climbing the Mount Everest, isn't it? So feasibility of health, feasibility of resources, feasibility of climate. So many things are there. So similarly, in a project, is it feasible? Is one this thing, and then many times whatever project we take up, is it in sync with the organization culture, with the organization, what the organization really does, etc. Now, suppose I want to talk to you now about the daily operations, differences between daily operations and project, or how is a project different from daily operations. All right. See, imagine a department, production department. Whatever we do is a repeated process or product. You are manufacturing, say, drinking glasses or cups. You keep on manufacturing the same thing day in and day out. Whereas in a project, it is a new product or a new process that you are doing, and you finish it and stop it there. All right. In a department, there are several objectives. What are the objectives? Like, you can do mass production of mass items. There can be a product line. There can be a product mix, etc. But in a project, there is only one objective. You are manufacturing something. You're fulfilling it and finish. The project doesn't exist anymore. All right. In a department, whatever activities are happening are ongoing. It's like a process, production process. It goes on and on. But in a project, it is one time, one shot, limited life. Okay. Here, in a department, if you have in a HR department, all people are HR people. In the finance department, all people are qualified to be finance people. Similarly, in the manufacturing department, all are qualified to be manufacturing only. There can be grades. You are higher than me. I'm your I supervise you. I'm your subordinate. Something like this. But everyone in a department has the same kind of qualification required, say maybe technical, non-technical, financial, HR related, etc. in the department. All are similarly qualified. But in a project, you have interdisciplinary people coming together for the sake of putting together a project. Okay. Then in a department, there are well established systems in place to integrate efforts. See, some kind of system is made. Inputs are coming from here. This is the machine. Then from this machine, the input goes into machine number one. Output of machine number one goes to machine number two. Then the input of machine number two is the output of machine number one. Then the process happens in machine number two. Then output of machine number two is the input for machine number three, and output of machine number three is the finished product for the company. So there is a system. You put it into machine one, then it goes to machine two. And there are other systems like stocking. How do you bring the stock from the storeroom? How do you procure? Everything is systematized, isn't it? Because it is daily operations, day in and day out. You're doing the same thing. But it doesn't, in a project, it is not so. Everything is new, so you have to form your systems only for that one time project. You have to decide how you're going to manufacture, how you're going to procure, etc. for that project. So here it is not systems must be created. So you want to integrate efforts, so you have to create a system for that. All right. Then in a department, cost, time that is schedule. Instead of time, we can say schedule also. The cost, schedule, the quality, the performance. If I say instead of quality, I can say performance. Or time, cost, quality are assured because you have formed systems. You know how it is going to happen. You have seen the outcome, and when the outcome has not been up to the mark, you have repaired it, and again you have seen the outcome. So everything is set. You're not worried. Suppose you're manufacturing good quality excuse me, cups or something. You know the quality of cups that are coming from that are the output of your factory. You know for sure. But this is not so in a project. Okay, there is very high because you're doing it for the first time, and something that you have not done before. and all the people are, there's one in a project team, there's one guy from finance, one guy from for HR, one guy from production, one guy from procuring, and there is someone from management supervising you, which has never happened before. And there's a project leader who has to put things together. There is a communication that has to happen, so documentation which you have not done before. So many things are there, so there's a high uncertainty. Time, cost, quality is highly uncertain in a project. That is why in project management we give so much importance to this tripod of time, cost and quality. Tripod, okay, to the three legs of a stool. Okay. Department is part of an organization, isn't it? When you come to a department, it is part of an organization. But a project is not part of an organization. If we in CBSMS are given the responsibility to construct an auditorium next to our department, we'll have a project leader. Maybe the head of our department would be the project leader. Finance would be one of us. Finance would be provided by one of us, maybe. And then HR would come from maybe social work department, maybe. May or may not be from MBA only, but may come from there. Then there can be, for corporate social responsibility aspect, someone from some other department may come. There might be a women's studies representative, representing, making sure that women's interests are maintained in the this thing, like how to make different things comfortable for women. Maybe women's studies people may come. Engineering people will come for building the department. So it is not part of the department. When you make a auditorium, build an auditorium on behalf of the university, we are building an auditorium next to our department, imagine. Then it is not part of the department, it is external to the department, because not all the people here are not part of the department. They become, though they are from the university, they are not part of an MBA department. It's a project management, unique by itself. Okay. Now, there is in a department, everything is set. You are coming to class at 9 o'clock. We start class at 9 o'clock. Our sessions are 2 hours, etc., etc. Everything is set. But this is not so in the project. You may have to, instead of 9 o'clock, you may have to work overnight. If you're digging and you're disturbing the piece, you may have to work only during the day. Your drilling, etc., may have to start at 6 a.m. and finish by 10 o'clock, because other departments are having classes. Our department also will have class. So something like this, lot of things are there, isn't it? It is not something set. Everything is different. It is not what is something in practice is of the department. Something not in practice is project management. Okay. So this is a little bit about, for you to understand what is the difference between a department and what is project management. Okay, so let me just give me 1 minute. Do you have any questions, Murli Krishna? Good morning. Do you have any questions? Okay. What I'm going to do is, tomorrow is a Saturday. I will take class. All right. I think I will see. We university has told us that we have to offer online as well as offline class. Now, what I'm thinking is, when I take offline class from Tuesday, I will try and project it on Facebook, because many of you are not in India yet. Our plan is, we have been told that we have to start class from the 17th, and from 17th we will start class offline. Alright, I will try and project the offline class on Facebook and see whether it succeeds. If it doesn't succeed, then I'll be mandated to take an offline class and an online class. I'll take class in the department, and I'll also take on Facebook. Alright, so you don't have to worry. Those of you who are unable to come, who are quarantined or something, you don't have to worry. The government of Karnataka has provided that you have offline class. Those who can come to class are welcome to come to class, given sufficient, maybe we'll have only 20 people in the class, with sufficient precaution and social distancing, with all the standard operating procedures in place, and sanitization of the classroom and all is happening, we will be taking class. But those of you who cannot and do not want to come can take class offline also. But your presence should be evident to me. I can see the numbers dipping today. I'm pretty unhappy about the numbers today. We have not reached 50 today. I know you're watching later, but that's not an excuse. You have to have some discipline in life. When I say 10 o'clock class, you have nothing else to do. You can do other work later. I'm pretty disappointed. I don't know whether I should continue class or not. Alright? So, now, I'm thinking this project management and production and operations management are tough subjects, so I'll take shorter classes anymore. And today is pretty disappointing, so I will not take class for an hour. I'm thinking of closing up now. I'm a little worried that there is no attendance. Tomorrow class, I took a break yesterday, I know. Tomorrow, sharp 10 o'clock, I will take class and I will start one by one 10 of the 10 knowledge areas, one by one, each knowledge area I'm going to start. Alright, so do not miss class. Today I will wind up. It is also a little monotonous in project management. I cannot give too many examples. I've tried to give you examples, but too many examples are beyond me also. So with this, I will say bye. So far, I have taught you what are projects, how unique, how they are different from departments, departmental activities, and also I have taught you the 10 what are the 10 sub areas or knowledge areas of project management. I've taught you the project life cycle, that is from initiation to closure. So with this I will wind up. From tomorrow I will come. I will kindly, Yashaswini, or two or three of you, kindly on the whoever, Teja, whoever are the reps and who have access to the official WhatsApp group, kindly send me your email ID. I will send you presentations by this evening. All of you keep your presentations ready so that you can see your presentations and follow the class. And whatever I have already taught, my last class presentation, I can give it to you. Give me 2 minutes. I need to wait. No, don't want. Today it is enough. All right. From tomorrow onwards, I will send the presentation on the previous day. By this evening, before 9 o'clock, I'll send the presentations and then you can do. The attendance today is very bad. I'm not at all happy. That is one reason why I want to stop class. All right. Bye, everybody. Smile. Whoever are you, you're there. Smile. Keep cheerful. Always be integrity. Let there be integrity in your life. Honesty, discipline, truth. These are the things that make us go very far in life. All right. Take care. God bless. Be cheerful. Bye. I'll stop class for today.